Hi, welcome to the tutorial Machine Learning Models with Python. I am Arnab Chakraborty from Updegree, and in this video we are going to cover the topic that is concepts and dimensions of machine learning. So before going for the dimensions of machine learning, let us discuss about the concepts of learning. Learning can be defined as improve task T with respect to the performance measure P based on the experience E. So I'm repeating the definition once again. That means we're going to improve a certain task which is given on us. We're going to improve the performance of the task and based on some prior and previous experience E. So let us go for some examples. So first example we are considering, that is a spam filtering. We know that spam emails are those emails which are containing some fake commitments and some false information which we don't require, but it comes and intended to us to read and to fall in a trap. So now what is the task here? Identify spam emails. So that is the task we are having. What is P? That is the percentage of spam emails filtered correctly and percentage of non-spam emails that were filtered incorrectly, and it is also known as false positive. That means how many number of emails in percentage in ratio we are detecting correctly, and percentage of non-spam emails, that means the ham mails which were filtered incorrectly, that will give us the measure of performance P. E is nothing but the database of emails labeled manually by the users initially. So that is our database. Based on that we're supposed to perform the task and performance measure will be calculated as I discussed. Next one, we're going for another example. So that is our checkers learning problem. What is the task here? Task T is playing checkers. What is the performance measure P? Percentage of games won against opponents. So that is the performance measure P. What is the training experience E? Playing practice games or matches against itself. So in this way we shall go on enriching ourselves with the experience on which we will be performing a task T, and performance measure P will be calculated by the percentage of games won against opponents. We can specify many learning problems in this fashion, such as learning to recognize handwritten words or learning to drive a robotic automobile autonomously. So we can consider multiple such examples. Let us go for another example for better understanding. So signature matching. Here we are considering the example signature matching. What is the task? Determine if signature belongs to a correct person or not. So that is the task we are having. What is the what is the performance measure P? That is the percentage of signatures that were correctly matched and percentage of vivid or valid signatures that were incorrectly labeled as not matching. So that means we are going to perform the performance measure on this way. That means we are trying to find out the percentage of signatures that were correctly matched with the signature of the person, or the percentage of valid signatures which were telling that it is not the signature of the valid person. So in this way the performance measure P will be calculated, and E is nothing but the database of signatures known to be of that person. So the different signatures taken at different time by the same person, the signature will be same, but the signature has been taken using different type of pens on different paper surfaces. So database of signatures known to be of that person will be our database, and that is our experience on which we'll be performing T and calculating the performance measure P. Now here we are going to discuss that is the dimension of learning. So dimension of learning is a learning centered framework for instructional planning that translates the latest research of cognition and learning into practical classroom strategies. The framework serves at least three major purposes. So let us discuss what are the three major purposes of dimension of learning. First, it provides a framework for organizing, describing, developing research-based teaching strategies that engage students in types of thinking involved in meaningful learning. So that is our purpose number one. Purpose number two, so that is the second. So it offers a way of integrating the major instructional models by showing how they are connected and where the overlaps occur. And perhaps the most important, it provides a process of planning and delivering curriculum and instruction that integrates much of the research on effective teaching and learning. So in this way, we are going to discuss we have discussed the second purpose of dimensions of learning. Next one is that the dimension of learning model assumes the 5 aspects of learning should be considered when making decisions about curriculum, instruction, and assessment. So they are nothing but one by one we shall discuss. That is the dimension 1, positive attitudes and perceptions about learning. Dimension 2 will be acquiring and integrating knowledge. Dimension 3 will be extending and refining knowledge. Dimension 4, using knowledge meaningfully. And dimension 5, productive habits of mind. So these are the 5 dimensions are there. So that's why we call it as 5 dimensions of learning systems. So let us go for the first dimension, that is the attitudes and perceptions. Attitudes and perception affect students' abilities to learn. As an example, if we consider that if a student view the classroom as unsafe and disorderly place, then obviously they will likely learn little there. So that is the attitudes and perceptions. So obviously the environment in which the students are learning will affect a lot that how much the student will learn. Next one, the dimension 2. So acquire and integrate knowledge. So when students are learning new information, they must be guided in relating the new knowledge to what they already know, organizing that information and then making it part of the long-term memory. So students are having some prior knowledge, the new knowledge will be given to them, the new information will be given to them, and this new information and knowledge should get integrated with the past knowledge whatever they are having initially. That will make a long-term memory. Dimension number 3, that is the extend and refine knowledge. So learning does not stop with acquiring and integrating knowledge. Learners develop in-depth understanding through the process of extending and refining their knowledge. So that means the learning process will be continued forever. So we are having the dimension 4, use knowledge meaningfully. The most effective learning occurs when we use knowledge to perform meaningful tasks. For example, we might initially learn about tennis rackets by talking to a friend or reading a magazine article about them. So this knowledge will be used meaningfully when the purpose will come. The dimension 5, that is our last dimension of learning systems, that is the habit of mind. The most effective learners have developed powerful habits of mind that enable them to think critically, think creatively, and regulate their behavior. So that is the habit of mind, and which will actually enable a particular thinker to think critically, and obviously the thinking process should be creative and regulate their behavior. So that is our dimension 5, that is habits of mind. So in the next video we are going to cover another new topic, that is the learning process.